Well, stock market started weakly into the new week, but luckily not as weak as feared by some, given that the talks between Iran and US broke up, and also given that the President, Donald Trump, announced that the US is willing to completely block the Strait of Hormuz. So we see a slightly muted reaction by financial markets. We do see oil prices clearly soaring once again, because there is big fear that if the US was really to block the Strait of Hormuz for longer, that this would bring back oil prices to $120, $140 per barrel, which would clearly have adverse effects for the global economy. Strategically, blocking the Strait of Hormuz would give President Trump better cards in the negotiations with Iran, because it would completely cut off Iran from exporting oil into the rest of the world. Hence, it would also cut off Iran from revenues based on oil. So that could be positive for the negotiations between the US and Iran. For the global economy, it means that this fear of a longer-lasting blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is back again, which would mean we could be expecting oil prices of $120, $140 per barrel over a longer time horizon, which then in turn would mean bad news for the global economy, slower growth, and higher inflation. We do know that blocking the Strait of Hormuz will have adverse effects, especially for the European and the Asian economy. We now have had the announcement by the German government to actually tackle some of these adverse effects for their economy, namely announcing tax relief for consumers, some kind of subsidies. Well, this indeed should bring some help for purchasing power of German households, but it should also not close Germany's eyes for having a longer-term strategy, because as much as it is needed to bring some short-term relief, what is even more important is a longer-term strategy to make Germany and also Europe independent from energy imports from elsewhere. I think when you listen very closely to Brussels right now, there must have been a big sigh of relief, because the idea is that with the new Hungarian government, Europe can move ahead. We've seen over the last weeks and months and even years that very often the Hungarian government had been boycotting, had been blocking important European measures, and hope is that now with the new Hungarian government there will be more progress. For example, when it comes to support for Ukraine, for example, when it comes to energy policies, for example, when it comes on how to deal with Russia. Europe now hopes that Hungary will be more cooperative than it was in the past.